I've been a cutter since 1962. I cut my first gemstone, which was a Cooper P Australian opal. So with orientation, it's very important to understand the principles of orientation. For one, if your gemstone or your piece of rough is oriented properly, you're not only going to have a more beautiful stone, but very aesthetic, very pleasing, very satisfying. Wouldn't you agree on that? Yes. The second thing is value. One of the things that I can't find is my markers.
They're up here.
There it
They're
is.
up here, Jeff.
No, that's the wrong one.
It's on the board. Here.
Oh, it's on the board.
Yep.
Jeez.
I set them up there.
I'm going to get there eventually, people. Okay. Value. Did you know, like for instance, let me give you an example. I am going to draw a piece of rough like this, okay? Now, let's say you have a section. This is a sunstone. I've been to the Dust Devil many times mining, and you know there are zones of red oftentimes in the piece of sunstone, correct? Okay, so this particular rough, if you're going to facet that, you got several options. You can facet it like this, correct? And catch some of the red on the side of the stone. Okay, you see what I'm saying? Right here. Now that will produce a pinkish type stone. Cutting it this way, let's assume we get a 10-carat stone. But being pinkish, it's only going to be valued at about $25 to $30 a carat. You take that same piece of rough approximately, okay? And you have your red area down here, but you cut a stone like this, facet or cab, with your coolant going into the red, you're going to end up with a red sunstone. You might only get 5 carats here, you'll get 10 carats here, but 10 times, let's say $25 a carat, you got a $250 stone. 5 carats here, but it's going to be at $200 a carat. You have yourself a $1,000 stone. So you can see orientation can bring, proper orientation will bring the value of your stone up tremendously. Okay? Now, another thing is yield. The last thing I want to talk about on orientation is yield. Now the thing with yield, I'm going to show you a piece of silver sheen obsidian. Okay? Now here's a slab. Now take a look at the light. Come on, take light there. You can see there is no. How many here lick stone? Come on, come on, be honest. Now, if you notice, I licked my finger and then I rubbed it on the stone. Okay, now, if you look at it, it's absolutely dead. Straight up. This piece of silver obsidian was not oriented properly. So it's going to be dead here. The sheen, I don't know if you can see it, is at about this angle. You see what I'm saying? It's completely off. So in other words, here is the orientation of this particular piece. But they cut it wrong. Now the thing here is, what does that mean? What that means is this. If you have, let's say, I have that slab, okay, like this. You see what I'm saying? The orientation is this way to make it shine. How big of a cab can I get?
Tiny.
Oh, let's say about this much. I can get only about a 5mm cab. You see what I'm saying? But if the slab is oriented properly, what can I get?
Entirely.
Silver dollar size, half dollar, you know, I get a huge cab out of it. See, so your yield is very important. I've seen people take a piece of rough, because it can fit in the saw this way, they'll slab it up this way. But the thing is, the orientation is all off, so they're going to only yield 20% at at most, and all small stones the size of a pea. Okay, so you can see yield is also a big factor when you have proper orientation. Now, do you orient stones? There is a really simple way of doing it. You're going to need, if you take a look at your sheets, we're going to go down to materials, okay, on your sheet. First page. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot to tell you what causes phenomena in gemstones. How's that, okay? And when you understand what is inside of these stones that cause the phenomena to happen, it brings out particular polishing problems, okay? For instance, moonstone, right here. It's an orthoclase feldspar. It's albite, A-L-B-I-T-E, that causes the adolescence in moonstone. You have fire obsidian right here. It's magnetite in the obsidian that causes the fire inside there. Of course, you have sunstone, where you have what we call schiller, or the gemological term is adventurescence on your sunstone. It's copper platelets in a microcrystalline form. Okay? And of course, how many here know opal? Okay. Opal is something very unique. Goodness, can you see it?
Yeah.
You see how this breaks up the color? Disperses the color, dispersion. Opal is the same way. It has little spheres of evenly spaced and silicon molecules that causes, when light hits it, it breaks it up. But also opal is mixed with two polymorphs of quartz called cristobalite and tridymite. Those two particular minerals you probably all know as the snowflakes in snowflake obsidian. See, so that's the snowflake obsidian is part of what causes the opal to disperse. The colors, they are. It's just evenly grooved, same thing with opal here. Okay? Now, so, and then another thing here, how many here have ever worked with garnet, star garnet, or things like that? Okay, some of you might have come across it. There are very specific techniques on how to cut a star garnet or a star sapphire. If you notice on the sapphire crystal, I just let you know, since I've traveled all over for such things. If you ever notice a sapphire crystal, especially from the Orient, is cut like this, a huge bottom. How many have ever noticed that thing like that? You know what? Why this is that way? Okay, because rutile, which is that causes the aspiration in garnet or your sapphire and many other minerals, it concentrates in the center of the crystal. So when you have a garnet crystal, if it's a star garnet, and I dug there when I was a kid, you look for the two largest faces, or the largest face, and you want to cut parallel to that face to get your star. Okay? But the thing here is, most people cut, if you have a dodecahedron type garnet crystal, they'll polish the outside and cut like this. Okay? You won't get a very good star like that. Because remember, the rutile is in where? The center of the stone. So this is why when you cut a stone, a sapphire crystal, they'll cut it like this. You see what I'm saying? Because this is where the rutile is. The rutile is all in the center here, right? So that will give you your sharpest star, whether it's sapphire or garnet. And then they make the bottom like this for weight to make it spend more money. Okay? But in the star garnet, which most of you will come across, you want the inside, you don't want to dome the outside. You want to dome the inside of the stone. That is where you will get your strongest concentration of rutile and aspiration on your star garnets. And a lot of your star stone material, even moonstone and stuff like that, the inside of the stone always produce a better star. Okay? On that. So that's some of the things about causes. Any questions so far on what I've shared? Any comments? Yes, sir.
How do you determine the orientation when you have a rough stone?
Well, see, that's the thing. Okay, two ways. One, if you don't have two large faces in the dodecahedron type garnet crystal, you cut parallel to the two faces. But most times you don't have that. You only have one face which you can cut in, or let's say you don't have any. What you have to do then, you have to polish a certain face. Find a leg. Follow that leg up until the apex where you'll branch out. Orient that, cut according to the orientation. Are you following me right here? Mm-hmm. Okay, so here's your piece of rough garnet. Here you just can't tell where it's at. So you polish a little piece of this. You got to use, I was going to show you this later, but we'll talk about it now. This is your star liquid. You can use Almag. How many here knows Almag? It's a very thick lubricant that you use for lapidary saws. Or mineral oil, baby oil. But you can, this is a specific type of star liquid for finding aspiration and phenomena in gemstones. Okay, so you can get that. You can just touch up an area, put your little liquid on the thing, you'll find a leg. Okay, just follow that leg until you see the aspirations of the thing. Then once you orient it, which I'm going to show you here in a bit, then you cut, you're going to mark it, just like I'm going to show you, and then you're going to cut that crystal, okay? Then the top of the dome of that crystal will be inside of the crystal, not on the outside, okay? Any questions so far? Am I confusing enough? In gemstones, it's normally some type of inclusion. And that's what oftentimes makes it difficult to polish. And so with this, I'm also going to add the how to orient your gemstones now. Okay, pull out your sheet. You're going to need, as it says right here, materials. You're going to need a light source. Now here is one of the things that I use when I buy gemstones overseas or in the field. A microscope has what they call dark field. You know what I'm talking about? So if I turn the thing on, you see the bright light right there? See how small it is? See that? Or else I can too open it up and turn bright field. See that? So I can put my gemstones on it right there. How do you get this? You can buy any type of strong flashlight. I put a washer right on the top because I could not find an iris diaphragm. You see the iris diaphragm opens up. I could not find an iris diaphragm for the exact diameter of the lens. So I put a washer there, glued the iris diaphragm on, and now I have, you see what I'm saying? Yep. You can use this because this is what you're going to use oftentimes for orienting your stone or looking at gemstones right there in the field or wherever you're at. Put your gemstone right on the thing and you can look right like a dark field microscope right into it, just like that. Very handy, okay? So there's a little trick right there. Another trick, I was using this particular thing 50 years ago. This is an ophthalmology eye doctor's eye doctor's light. You see it has a fiber optic thing. You see that? See, when my travels, if people look at that, they say they never seen it. They say, "Oh, number one torch, number one torch." But this is obsolete now. I mean, I still use it. But these are some light sources that you might consider in working your lapidary work with phenomenal stones or a lot of other stones. Okay? How's that sound? Did that help out any? Okay, so this
Where
is
did you get the iris ring?
how did I what?
Where did you get?
Amazon. Just type in iris diaphragm. They come anywhere from 12 millimeter, which is about a half an inch, all the way to many inches big. So your flashlight that you buy, measure the opening so you could either glue it on. Now what I use to glue is sodium silicate, and also known as water glass. How many here know what water glass is? You do, you're about that. Okay, I use sodium silicate all the time in my lapidary work, cutting with saws. And because what it is it's a water-soluble glue. So when I have my saws, which are all oil, I can glue a stick to a flat piece like this. See how flat that is? It's hard to grab this in a saw, isn't it? It doesn't have anything. So I glue on a 1x1, 2x2 with water glass on this, and then it comes out about this far, and then I can stick that piece of wood into my vise. Real easy. And then saw it with my oil saw. That's why I use oil instead of water. But if you do use water, a little tip, add crystal cut with it. Crystal cuts it helps dissipate the heat of the blade, and it keeps it's an anti-rust. Okay, but so I glue the thing on, stick it on, and I can just run this thing through my saw. Okay, so this here is glued on with water glass. So if this ever breaks or I want to take it off, I just get about that much water, stick this on, it all dissolves away. Get another one, stick it back on. How's that? Whereas if you use epoxy or any other type of glue, you got a problem there. Yeah, water glass. I love water glass. Amazon, cheap. Okay? Now, so you got the light source. Showed you about the light sources. Then what you got is this type of clear, high viscous type of oil. Then you get what you call museum putty or kids putty. See, it doesn't get hard. You know what I'm saying? You can just you need this too. Okay, this. So you need the museum putty. What else do we need? We need our platforms. I'll show you why we need that at certain heights. Then you have your white marker and your black marker right here. Okay. If you get a white marker, you can get them at Michael's or any craft store. Buy the oil base. Do not get the water base, because the water base comes off too easy. Okay. They're not expensive. So you have white base. I use the white for marking dark stones. I use the dark for marking light stones. Okay? Now, if, let's see here. So, I would like to pass these three pieces around. It's a beautiful piece of wide-bladed woodtail quartz. That's very important if it has to be oriented right. A beautiful piece of spectrolite. Okay, just pass it maybe in the back. And another piece of cacoxenite from Brazil. Cacoxenite in quartz. Now look at the white markings. The white markings, if you cut parallel or right along the white markings, you'll have perfect orientation. How do you get those white markings? Let me show you how to do that. You can either use a lamp or you can use a flashlight. It doesn't matter, okay? For instance, tonight, as an example, we are going to use this beautiful piece donated by Jenny to me. She gave it to me. Beautiful pink sheen obsidian, okay? And by the way, you can see her first stone that she finished. We oriented it at my shop and she cut this, her first finished cab. And it's beautiful. It's oriented properly. It shines right straight up, okay? So how do you get the thing, okay? You can see as you move it, there is sheen into this piece. Can you see it?
Yes.
Okay? You can see it from way back there, the sheen? Okay. So how do you get the thing? Well, that's why you first thing to do is this. Okay, let's put that away. I'm going to take a piece of rock. I'm going to stick it on my putty. There you go. How's that? Okay, it's very simple. It's a very simple technique here. I'm going to open up my diaphragm. I'm going to orientation right there. You see it? Maybe I should move the table out. There you go. Okay, can you see it? This is not parallel with the table. It's off. So what you have to do, we have to mark it. Watch, this is how we mark it. Where's my smaller one? Did I bring it? Oh well, that's okay. Wouldn't you know it? But this is where your platforms come in handy. You can use it to get whatever angle you need. Okay? Now, with this platform like this on a flat surface, I can go around and mark, you see what I'm saying? Mark the piece with my, there it is. I'll mark it this way. I'm going to go a little higher so that we can get some there. There. Have you seen it?
Yeah.
There you go. Okay, now finish it off here. There it is. Now, this is the orientation of this particular piece. Now, can you see it's off? But that will give me perfect orientation for my rough, for my cutting, my slab. So as long as your bottom of a cabochon is parallel with that marking, you have perfect orientation and aesthetics of your phenomena stone. If it's a facet piece, then your table will be parallel with this. I'm cutting right now some blue flash moonstone from Nigeria. And I had to go through this process so that I could parallel the table with the blue flash. So when the faceted stone is finished, face up, the table and the blue flash will be perfectly in alignment. Yes, Luann?
So when you're looking down at that,
Yes.
you're wanting to be able to see the biggest array of color that you can,
Yes, right.
not off, not where you have to tilt it.
No, right.
Okay.
See, there's two orientation planes. One is this way, correct? And one is this way. So when you put it on your putty and you orient, you got to turn it this way to get the brightest, then you turn it this way till you get the very brightest phenomena back to you, okay? And then once it's set into the putty, you mark your thing right around and you have your stone perfectly oriented. So I pass those around. You can see the white mark on the ones that I passed. Those have been oriented already. Yes, dear.
So you are looking at from the top or from the side?
No, you gotta look, okay, right here. Sorry, I should have been more clear on that. See, I'm gonna take this piece. That's why I have the putty. I can move the putty around. So I am going to, there, okay? My eye is right up here. You see my eye is right looking down. Okay, I'm gonna move it this way. Okay, right here, this way, it's the strongest. Then I move it this way. It's dead, it's black right there. Right there is the strongest. So I oriented it both ways. You see what I'm saying? Then I just mark it, because it's flat. And I have different, you can get these at Michael's, the little foam whiteboards. I just cut them up to raise up or lower my marking pen on the thing, okay? I have bought a lot of misoriented stones and redone them. And I enjoy doing that because it adds value. Okay, so here, I'm gonna hand this around too. I think it should be dry enough. Yeah, almost dry enough. Down here, since I moved here, down here, I did a lot though in the Seattle area, lectures at clubs and at federation shows and things like that. But, so, that is a simple technique for putty. Here's your specimen, boom. Mark, and the thing is you want it like that, but the bottom is all weird. Mark it. Okay. Okay, now. Okay, any questions so far? Are you clear enough? Okay, good. Okay. Now, there's 4 samples going around, okay? Any, okay, good. Now, I am going to reveal to you is where your surface is perfect. Let's say this is really enlarged a lot. It's perfectly smooth. Like for instance, cryptocrystalline materials such as quartz and jaspers and stuff like that, where the crystalline structure is so fine you cannot even see it with a microscope. Being such, that's why jaspers and agates and stuff are easy to polish. Okay? But when you get certain stones that are microcrystalline, like jade, charoite, you know, some of the, you know what I'm saying? They get a little bit more difficult. Because a good polish, the surface is perfectly smooth. So when the light hits it, it bounces back to the viewer. The thing is to get this nice smooth surface, if you have materials that have different hardnesses, like some turquoise, you'll have sulfides in it, like pyrite. You'll have quartz. Then you'll have your phosphate turquoise. And they all have different hardnesses. You see what I'm saying? So you can have a hardness variance in your material, plus different minerals that are in the material you're working with. So what happens on a very high field is that, well, here, it becomes rough like this. Are you understanding what I'm saying? Okay? So when light hits it, what happens? Boom, it scatters. And that is why you won't see a good sharp image on your polish. Okay? So there's a scattering of your light. Now, one of the things here is how do you get this smooth surface when you can have variances in material or the hardnesses, you know what I'm saying? Or something that could be microcrystalline, okay? See, I have samples up here of charoite and jadeite, and jade here, nephrite. And you look, they're almost perfect agate polish. No orange peel or nothing. You're gonna learn that secret tonight, okay? So, now the thing here is, most people polish with a genie. I mean, here you have genies or titans or whatever. The problem with that is it turns too fast. So what happens with microcrystalline or other different things, the wheel will, because it turns so fast, it'll gouge out the soft areas. Or if you use an oxide, such as tin oxide, cerium oxide, chrome oxide, or even a diamond compound, what happens is the diamond part, the particles will go in and gouge out a soft area. Are you seeing what I'm saying? And then we'll ride on top of a harder area and then gouge out the thing again. So what happens is you'll get a wavy finish. You get a finish that is you're just not happy. It's not crystal clear and sharp. And it's not hard to get that way, okay? So the secret here is you need a polish that will not tumble. So you cannot use any type of oxides or any diamond paste, you know, 1/2 micron or 50 thousandths diamond paste and polish with that. On a lot of materials, it just won't come out how you want it. You're not happy with it. Okay, how many have had that experiences? Okay, okay, so what are you gonna do to solve that problem? Okay, now here is my secret. I have yet to find anybody really using this thing. The reason is it's expensive, but not really. Look at what's happened. See that phenomenon there? Oh, that's beautiful. I was trying to light to it. I wonder if I can get some aspiration off of that thing. You see it? Oh, yeah. That's a 12th grade right there, whiteboard. Okay. I'll whisper it to you. Okay, page 2 of your handout sheets, right in the bottom, near the bottom. Okay? It's gonna start with 3M. See it? Everybody on that last page here, 3M. Okay? Page 3. 3, people are still looking at their feet. It's okay. Okay. So, first page, second page, right? About right here. Okay? This is what I use. This is a brand new one. Haven't used it yet. Now, do you notice how I handle laps? In all my years of cutting, I've never had a contaminated lap. Only time was when I lent one of my things out. Never again, so don't ask. But this is a 3M 1/2 micron or 50 thousandths diamond disc. Okay, it's expensive, $50 to $60, but it will cut, or $70. He says up, oh forget it. But nevertheless, it will cut hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of stones. Once you take a look at some of these hard to polish stones that I have up here, I have used this dead still, just using my hand and going like this. In fact, I recently cut yesterday a Mexican fire opal with white rhyolite in beautiful shield cabochon. The white rhyolite is very hard to polish. With that, I was using this by hand to polish that white rhyolite because the opal polishes with cerium oxide. You know, real easy. With that white rhyolite, I had to use my hand lightly, polishing it. Then I touched it because that will get me a flat surface. Using the 1/2 micron gets me a flat surface. Then I took it to my buffer and with a muslin wheel and Zam, just lightly hit it, just boom, to bring up the polish. And the polish then comes out flat and nice. See? Same thing with limonite. You know, boulder opal, Jadha opal, matrix opal, limonite is an iron oxide. And that oftentimes is hard to polish. But I have limonite stones up here, it's very, very fine polished. Again, with this 1/2 micron. Okay, now the thing here, oftentimes you can just polish by hand with these discs. But the best RPM for polishing is actually 400 to 500 RPM and slower. See, that's the problem with the Genie and a lot of these other things. The white 50,000s half micron just goes too fast. What is that, 1400 RPM? It just, it burns your stone and undermines. It just doesn't do a job. I don't use my white. I go to my red, and then I go to this, and boom, hala. This doesn't polish everything, but does a really good job on your tough stones. Okay, so the thing here is some tips. If you don't have a flat lap, you can get a rubberized master lap from Crystalline. You know what I'm saying? It has a 1/4 thread on the back. Stick it into your drill. Put that lap on the thing. Turn it on. There you go. So you don't have to buy a whole lapidary piece of equipment. Yes, sir.
Used in some type of lubricant, say, would you?
Yes, I'm going to get to that. That's good. No, that's a good point. Okay, so once you put your, with the lap cement or whatever, you can put it on your disc. Okay, now you can use, okay, I use water with this, but you only use distilled water, okay, or an RO filtering system, reverse osmosis. Okay, if you got a really good system, fine, but the reason is when you have tap water has minerals in it. You put it on this disc, it evaporates out, correct? Because it's turning quickly. And what happens is, what residue is left? The minerals, and pretty soon it won't polish. The polish will start, it'll be silky looking. That's because your disc has too much minerals on it. You have to soak your disc in vinegar again, dissolve all that stuff away, and start again. Okay? So distilled water or RO filtering system only. And you'll learn how to use this thing, because my best thing is when it starts dragging. I use this, and when it starts, pulling my stone a little bit, it's all pressure. You don't use very much pressure at all. You want that diamond. See, the thing is with the diamond, you see, with the diamond, let's say it goes like this. It's irregular. See, the diamond, because it's fixed to that cloth, will cut like this, zoom, straight across. Are you seeing what I'm saying? It does not dig in at all. And pretty soon you'll get all of these things straightened out, and you'll come up with a really nice polish. You have to use a fixed diamond disc.
They're self-adhesive.
What's that?
Self-adhesive.
Yes, it's PSA.
Peel and stick.
Pull it right off. Okay. On that. Okay. So you can go with that like this. Don't use any oils like crystal lube, or don't use any oils. Just strictly water with this. Filtered water or distilled water. Okay. But you'll learn this will turn. Like for instance, if you come up here later on, don't forget, if you can identify this, you can have this beautiful piece of fire obsidian. So far, nobody's gotten close. There's been a lot of guesses though, which is okay. Okay? But you can look at some, like here is a piece of conch opal. See that? From when I was a member of Bonanza Opal Mine in Virgin Valley. That is opal in a very soft, petrified wood base. But if you look at the polish, it's even, straight across. Again, cause my chirolite specimen, here is a commercial polish right here on this end. I cut the other end off. You can look at the commercial polish and look at it, see how that is. Then you look at the polish with the 3M diamond disc. You can't, it's completely different. Yeah, completely different. Color saturation is better, and it's nice and smooth. Yes, Craig.
One thing you stressed to me as well is to make sure that once you put that disc on and you start using it, to make sure that your stone is always super clean, and that you always keep your disc inside a Ziploc bag so it doesn't get contaminated.
Excellent. Did you catch all that? Yeah. Always keep this disc in a plastic bag. Yes, ma'am.
How do you clean that disc once you're done with it? I mean, what do you?
Nothing. Just water, spray it, and that's it. Stick it in your bag. This will last for 400 cabs.
Wow.
Oh, it lasts a long time. I meant to bring mine. Mine is just, but I forgot to bring it.
But you said if it does get contaminated, to use vinegar?
Yes,
Okay.
if it's mineralized contamination.
Okay.
If it's an oil type of
You
contamination,
lost it.
then you gotta use acetone.
Okay.
Wipe it off with acetone.
Okay.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay? But this very rarely gets contaminated because it's fixed
Yeah.
onto the cloth. Okay? So the information of where to get it, how to buy it, would you believe I was only paying $17 each for these? And now they're how much, Craig?
75 for a 6-inch.
$75. I should have.
About more.
I should have bought more. Okay, but those are some cutting techniques, polishing techniques that I have right here. Any questions so far? Yes, sir.
So you're going to a 50,000 grit there. What do you go to before that?
You can go. Good question. Okay. You know the Genie, the red wheel, which is what 1200. What is the red wheel on a Genie? Just before the white 50,000s. 6,000 is good enough. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so work up to.
Yeah, depending on the material. Sometimes from 1200 you can go right to this disc right here. Right? You see what I'm saying? But just having this disc, a lot of times what you're gonna do is just have the disc and just polish it by hand. Just rub the doggone thing and it'll smoothen everything out. Yes, sir.
Earlier, when you were doing the next you talked about, you mentioned going to a muslin with Zam.
Yes.
But that's not with all the stones, that's just that one.
That is correct. Right, because
Just wanted to clarify that.
that's a good clarification. Thank you very much. Yeah, there's I have maybe 25 or 30 different polishing techniques, from wood, ceramic, to vinyl backings, and whether it's paste, diamond paste, or oxides, and all different types. And sometimes I use a combination to finish a stone up, okay? Because on the white rhyolite, the pure diamond it does a good job. It flattens it out, but that higher luster is where your muslin and your Zam comes in. Okay? Yes, sir.
Will that also help get off the haze you get on obsidian when you're polishing?
Yes, you can take a look at this one right here. You see that? No haze.
Oh, okay.
We just polish this by hand. I think you just take your thing and just an obsidian, because if some of the obsidian, because of the impurities that causes the sheen or things like that, it's hard to polish. How many here have trouble with obsidian? Well, you use this system here, you'll be doing fine. Okay?